Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Gary Sibner. I've lived in Elk Grove for 41 years. My wife and I have lived in Stonelake for 17. I'm here to oppose the CNU hospital project. My remarks tonight, however, are directed to Mayor Lee. Mr. Mayor, my wife and I voted for you last November. That was despite the controversy surrounding your candidacy that was well publicized. After the public announcement of the hospital project, where you and other council members stood with the owners of CNU, we had second thoughts. My wife wrote you an email on January 30th that I would like to read. It stated January 30th, 2019 at 1:32 p.m., Dear Mayor Lee, I'm contacting you to initially declare my opposition to the proposed trauma level 2 hospital planned for the Stonelake neighborhood by California Northstate University. I plan on actively opposing this plan and participating in opposition campaigns to stop it. I spoke with you just prior to the election about the controversy between you and the other council members surrounding your campaign. Because of your support for the new animal control facility and because you called me and spoke with me personally, I decided to trust in you as our city's leader. But the latest proposal with CNU smells of a backroom deal. There's an apparent lack of transparency in how this has been handled, which started with the misleading of the business owners in the shopping center that CNU has gobbled up. It also appears that your support for this project is all in within a very short time of CNU's announcement of their intentions and before public comment and required studies have been conducted. I would like to know when you first became aware of the proposed project and was its announcement delayed until after the election. I believe that a full explanation of your relationship with CNU, when it began, and whether you had any knowledge of the project as you were campaigning for mayor is warranted. The plans for this hospital and those who support it might have been a factor in the last election. It certainly would have influenced my vote. It's obvious this project has been in the planning stages by CNU for quite some time. Conceptual plans are not completed overnight, nor within a month. And the fact that you are holding your community volunteer appreciation event at the CNU facility is troubling in of itself. It gives the appearance that the relationship between you and CNU might be too close for you to be able to be impartial about decisions regarding the project. I hope you will reconsider your support for this project. It's just too many cons and virtually no pros in pursuing the project. Regards, Deborah Sibner, which is my wife. My wife never received the courtesy of a reply. Despite the fact that you were quite willing and able to call her and thank her for her support, you nevertheless could not muster the time and willingness to respond to her questions. These questions need to be answered, not just for my wife and myself, but for everyone. I will read them again. When did you first become aware of the hospital project? And I will wrap up. Was its announcement delayed until after the election? We need a full explanation of your relationship with CNU, when it began, and whether you had any knowledge of the project as you were campaigning. We keep talking about transparency and honesty. With all due respect, Mr. Mayor, we need that from you. Thank you.
So, Mr. Sibner, I appreciate that, and I may have overlooked the email, but I apologize. I'd be happy to talk to you. In fact, I'm going to give you my personal cell phone. You can write this down, call me. I'd be happy to sit down with you and your wife.
I would love to have a pen.
Got it? Okay. 916-717-3827. And I'd be happy to talk to you about that, okay?
Okay.
All right,
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I very much appreciate that.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, Ms. Wynn, good evening. My name is Alvin Cheung, and I've been an Elk Grove resident since 1990. I've seen this area grow exponentially since then. And I have a question for you. What do the cities of Roseville, Davis, Lodi, Folsom, Napa, Reading, and Chico all have in common? And this is a rhetorical question. The answer is they're all cities with a hospital within the city limits. Elk Grove is not in that category yet, and I'm here to support the California Northstate University project. My son was a graduate of the pharmacy school there, and I know that this project represents an infusion of jobs. It also represents the NIMBY concept, which is, for those not familiar, not in my backyard. There's plenty of people who are afraid of growth and the things that come with growth. And I would tell you that Elk Grove, we all know, is growing exponentially, and sometimes there's growing pains associated with that. But The reason why I'm here is because I'd like the city to consider this project in terms of supporting it, expediting it as much as possible. And I'm just on record as being a neighborhood resident in favor of this project. Thank you for your time.
My name is Farber Patterson, and I'm not afraid of growth. The following statement is my personal opinion based on my observations of what has been transpiring in the last 3 months by the Elk Grove City government. You'll have to excuse me. I had a cold and the flu, and it comes and goes. I have lived here for almost 10 years, but have extended family that have lived in Elk Grove since about the 1930s. My grandchildren and great-grandchildren have attended school here, and some are still in the schools. My daughter is buried in the East Lawn Cemetery, and I will probably end up there next to her. The monstrous CNU proposed hospital project is totally unnecessary. In fact, it never was a good idea. Excuse me. The location is further away for most residents of Elk Grove than the current hospitals in South Sacramento. Now that Dignity Health has let us know that they are going forward with their hospital in a better location for the citizens here, all the citizens here, and they have even realized it needed to be downsized to be a better fit for Elk Grove. Mayor Lee, by your constant public comments showing your support of this project, you have made it clear that you don't care. You don't care what it will do to the housing community in all of West Elk Grove, including the Stonelake area, West Laguna and the Laguna Lakes area, and especially the small business owners in the Stonelake Landing. You have accepted large cash donations, contributions to your campaign, and used the CNU facility for personal events. There cannot be any question by most intelligent people that you are in the least unbiased. This is a direct violation of the Elk Grove Code of Ethics, and I will read to you part of it. I understand that the community expects me to serve with dignity and respect, as well as be an agent of the democratic process. I avoid actions that might cause the public to question my independent judgment. There is no question about your unindependent judgment. I do not use my office or resources of the city for personal or political gain, and I am a prudent steward of the public resources and actively consider the impact of my decisions on the financial and social stability of the city and its citizens. Because of these serious violations, I urge you to resign as mayor to avoid the embarrassment of being forced out of office for cause, so the people of Elk Grove can legally vote in hopefully ethical and truthful city leaders. Because we, the people, are serious about this project being done legally and above board. Unlike what happened with the casino by our previous mayor, we are not going away or stopping our opposition.
Hi. I'm just going to read some of the documents that I received through public information, and just so that I can be on the record as far as what has been going on with CNU Hospital. This one is from 12/17/2018. It's from Alvin to Darrell Doan. If at all possible, the authors and the university would like to present to you, Jason Berman and Kristen Lawrence, the economic impact study before the DDP is submitted, ideally on Wednesday, December 19th. Please let me know. There was not a response. It just said, got connected with Bob. We are speaking at 9 a.m. tomorrow. All good for now. So apparently there is an economic impact study, but we just don't get to look at it. And there's also a DDP, and we're not getting to look at that either. This is dated 12/12/2018. This is from Darrell Doan to Alvin Cheung. Hi, Alvin. Hope all is well and your trip to China was good. A couple of things to discuss. I thought you'd find the attached article interesting, which wasn't attached. My question for you is, how quickly can we get 25,000 square feet of biowet lab built on or near your campus? And what can I do to help facilitate that? I'm working with 3 bio startups that all like Elk Grove but need turnkey lab space to commit. So this is all in line with this whole Biotech District that's going to be going into a neighborhood with residences, and nobody there was told anything about it. It goes on. I spoke to Jay further. He is, I believe, from Nivagen Pharmaceuticals, but nobody knew about them at the information meeting, so that was interesting. Can you send me any and all messaging related to the press event next Thursday? The press advisory, press release. I want to make sure we understand the message and can back it up. That's awesome. Another from Darrell to Alvin. Alvin, I hope this finds you well. I was researching hospital financing. This was dated 9/18 and came up upon a state agency called the California Health Facilities Financing Authority. They issue bonds as a conduit issuer on behalf of nonprofit medical facilities, which this isn't, by the way, like university hospitals. Our bond counsel, Fieldman Rolap, is an expert at these types of transactions, and it goes on and on to say how wonderful these things are. And this was attached. My point in reading these is it seems like our city is working for CNU. It seems like we're paying Darrell Doan in the Transparent California. It was $211,000 in 2017. I'm sure it's more than that. Not to attract businesses. I get that we're supposed to attract businesses, and I get business. And I think Councilmember Hume was the only one who spoke to finances and financial aspects. And I'm glad that there's somebody who understands financing because nobody else had spoken to that. And that is an important part of this. Clearly, there is not financing because they're trying to get our city council staff is trying to secure that financing for them, and that's a problem. Thank you.